Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic and collectible state quarters ever released, the 1788 to 1999 Connecticut quarter with the P Mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint. If you love rare coins, high-value varieties, and the fascinating stories behind U.S. coinage, then stay tuned because this coin has everything: history, errors, value potential, and collector demand that has never stopped growing. The Connecticut State Quarter was released in 1999 as part of the first year of the legendary 50 State Quarters program. It honors Connecticut's statehood year, 1788, but the coin was struck in 1999, making it one of the early quarters that launched a new era of modern coin collecting in the United States. And of all the designs minted over the years, the Connecticut Quarter stands out immediately thanks to its iconic depiction of the charter oak, a huge, twisting, ancient tree that carries some of the deepest historical symbolism in American history. This famous tree is believed to have hidden the Connecticut Charter in 1687, protecting the state's rights and freedoms. That story alone gives the coin a powerful sense of patriotism and heritage, which is a major reason collectors continue hunting for high-quality examples today. Now, when it comes to the 1999 Connecticut Quarter, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, but that doesn't mean they're all the same. In fact, most of the common examples you find in pocket change today show the typical signs of wear: faded details on the charter oak branches, smoothing on George Washington's profile, and loss of luster. These circulated pieces are usually worth face value, but the real treasure lies in finding uncirculated, high-grade, and error examples, which can be worth far more. For collectors and resellers, the magic number to look for is MS65 and above, because this is where prices start increasing, especially for coins with strong eye appeal. One of the biggest value factors for the Connecticut Quarter is strike quality. Early state quarters are known for having issues like weak strikes, die deterioration, and poor detailing. That's why a sharply struck 1999 Connecticut Quarter, with crisp lines in the charter oak branches and full detail in Washington's hair, can command impressive prices. Coins graded MS67 or MS68 can skyrocket in value at auctions because they are genuinely rare in those grades. Collectors are also drawn to the mirrors, luster, and clean surfaces, all of which can bump a coin's value far beyond what you might expect. And of course, we've got to talk about errors and varieties, because this is where the 1999 Connecticut Quarter becomes extremely exciting. Some of the most sought-after errors include off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and coins struck through grease that create missing details. A strong double die example, especially on Washington's motto or the tree branches, can bring serious collector attention. Off-center strikes with a visible date and mint mark are another valuable variety to watch for, and depending on how dramatic the error is, collectors will pay big money for them. Even small die cracks running through the tree or Washington's portrait can increase interest because they create visual uniqueness and add rarity. What makes this coin especially appealing is the fact that the State Quarters program brought millions of new collectors into the hobby, which means certain earlier coins, like the Connecticut Quarter, have huge long-term demand. The nostalgia factor is strong with this one. Many people remember collecting these quarters in books, rolls, or jars, and now they're looking for high-grade or error examples to complete their sets. And because the Philadelphia Mint generally produces coins for everyday circulation, finding pristine, Mint mark examples that survived without scratches, bag marks, or wear is becoming harder every year. If you're checking your own coins, search for sharp detail in the tree branches, clean fields around Washington's portrait, and strong luster with minimal marks. Those features can push a coin into the higher grading levels, which is where its value increases significantly. A regular circulated piece is worth 25 cents, but a high-grade MS67 or MS68 specimen can sell for hundreds, and rare errors have sold for hundreds to even thousands depending on their intensity and demand at the time of sale. So if you have a 1999 Connecticut Quarter sitting in a jar, in a collection, or hidden away in a roll, take a closer look. You might be holding a much more valuable coin than you think. From its deep historical roots to its modern collector appeal, this quarter remains one of the most beloved and sought-after issues of the entire State Quarters program. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced collector, this is absolutely one of the coins worth searching for, studying, and preserving in the best condition possible. Today we're going to explore one of the most important and collectible coins from the State Quarter program, the 1787 to 1999 Delaware Quarter with the Philadelphia P. Mintmark. This is the very first coin released in the entire 50 State Quarter series, and that alone makes it a major point of interest for collectors, coin roll hunters, and anyone hoping to find a valuable rare quarter in their pocket change. In this video, you're going to learn the history behind this quarter, the key features that make it unique, the value ranges you should know, and the rare errors that can turn this simple 25-cent coin into a surprising treasure. The Delaware Quarter honors Delaware's historic moment from 1787, the year it became the first state to join the United States by ratifying the Constitution. That is why you see both years on the coin, 1787 at the top and 1999 as the release year. The reverse design is one of the most iconic in the entire series. It shows Caesar Rodney riding his horse on his urgent 80-mile journey to cast a key vote for American independence. The image is full of motion, history, and meaning, which is why collectors love this quarter so much. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 373 million Delaware quarters with the P. Mintmark, so yes, the coin is common, but that doesn't mean it lacks value. In fact, the rare high-grade examples and the valuable mint errors connected to this coin make it a very exciting piece to search for. If you're checking your change or coin rolls, you should first understand the value differences between circulated and uncirculated Delaware quarters. Most circulated examples will be worth their face value, but uncirculated pieces graded MS65, MS66, and especially MS67 can bring strong premiums. A top-graded MS67 Delaware quarter, P, has sold for hundreds of dollars, because finding a 1999 State Quarter in such a flawless condition is much harder than most people think. These early State Quarters were heavily used, and many were kept in poor storage conditions, which caused scratches, dulling, and contact marks. That's why finding a crisp, shiny, sharply struck Delaware quarter, P, can be a rewarding discovery. One of the biggest reasons this quarter stays so popular is the presence of notable errors. The most famous is the spitting horse error, where a die crack forms from the horse's mouth outward, making it look like the horse is spitting. This error is widely collected, and depending on the size and visibility of the die crack, it can sell anywhere from a few dollars in circulated condition up to over $100 in high-grade mint state condition. Other valuable errors include off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, dyed breaks, and double die varieties. Each error can significantly increase the value of the coin, and some rare error combinations have sold for impressive amounts at auctions. When examining your Delaware quarter, P, always start by checking its condition. Hold it under strong light and look for clean fields, bright luster, and minimal contact marks. A strong strike will show clear details in Caesar Rodney's horse, the lettering, and the outline of the state. If your coin looks unusually sharp or untouched, it might be a mint state example. After checking the condition, look closely at the horse's mouth area, the lettering, and the rim to spot any signs of doubling, die cracks, or unusual features. These small details are what turn ordinary coins into rare finds that collectors are willing to pay for. The Delaware quarter, P, is not just a collectible coin, it's a piece of American history. Its connection to the first state, the powerful story of Caesar Rodney's ride, and its status as the starting point of the monumental State Quarters program make this coin a long-term favorite among collectors. Whether you're new to coin collecting, searching rolls for rare State Quarters, or hoping to find a valuable error coin, the 1999 Delaware quarter, P, is always worth checking carefully. Its historical symbolism, collector demand, and the potential for valuable mint errors make it one of the most exciting State Quarters you can come across. Today we're taking a deep dive into one of the most iconic State Quarters released in the early years of the U.S. 50 State Quarters program, the 1788 to 1999 Georgia quarter with the P. Mintmark. This Georgia State Quarter remains a favorite among collectors thanks to its beautiful design, historical symbolism, and the surprising value that some varieties and high-grade examples can bring. Whether you've just found one in your pocket change or you're building a state quarter collection, this video will help you understand everything you need to know about the 1999 Georgia quarter from the Philadelphia Mint. The Georgia quarter was officially released on July 19, 1999, making it the fourth state quarter in the popular series. The design showcases the state outline, a peach in the center symbolizing Georgia's nickname, the Peach State, and two oak branches representing strength, dignity, and the state's rich natural heritage. It also features Georgia's motto, wisdom, justice, moderation, carefully wrapped around the state outline. On the obverse side, you'll find the classic portrait of George Washington along with the P mint mark indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Even though millions of these coins were produced, collectors still seek high-quality examples and rare errors. Now let's talk about value, which is one of the biggest reasons why this quarter gets so much attention. Circulated 1999 Georgia P quarters are generally worth face value, but uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS65 or higher, can bring solid collector premiums. A typical mint state Georgia quarter can range from a couple of dollars up to $20 depending on luster, strike quality, and overall appearance. But the real excitement comes from error varieties. Some Georgia P quarters have off-center strikes, die cracks, die chips, or early die state doubling. These errors can take the value from just a few dollars to $50, $100, or even several $100s for dramatic mistakes or high-grade pieces. The Philadelphia Mint is known for occasional striking issues in the early years of the state quarter series, so collectors often inspect 1999 P quarters very closely. One of the most talked about varieties is the extra metal, or die chip near the peach or lettering. These small raised areas are caused by die deterioration or damage, and depending on size and location, collectors may pay anywhere from $5 to $75 for them. Off-center errors can also be extremely valuable, especially if the date is still visible. A Georgia quarter struck 10 to 20% off-center can easily bring over $100, while more dramatic examples may sell for even more. If you think your coin looks unusual, it's always worth comparing it to reference images online or taking it to a professional coin dealer for evaluation. For collectors who care about grading, the 1999 Georgia P quarter is known for having many coins with average strikes, so finding a sharp, lustrous example with clean surfaces is a bit more challenging than you might expect. Grades like MS67 and MS68 are rare and can command premium auction prices. Some have sold for several $100s, especially those certified by reputable grading companies like PCGS or NGC. If you have a fresh-looking Georgia quarter with no scratches, bag marks, or discoloration, it may be worth submitting for grading depending on its overall appearance. Another interesting point is the coin's historical appeal. The state quarter program helped introduce millions of people to coin collecting, and coins from 1999, the first year of the series, often carry extra interest. Georgia, being one of the original 13 colonies, adds even more historical significance to the coin. That combination of history, design, and collectability makes this quarter an important part of any state quarter set. Even common pieces are worth holding onto, because early state quarters remain popular and may continue to gain value over time. So if you have a 1788 to 1999 Georgia quarter with the PE mint mark, it's worth taking a moment to examine it closely. Check for strong details, smooth fields, and any unusual marks or striking errors. Whether your coin is worth $1 or $100 depends entirely on condition and variety. Many people have found valuable error coins completely by accident, so it's definitely worth knowing what to look for. Even if your coin is just a standard issue, it's still a great piece of American coinage history, and a must-have for anyone collecting the full 50-state quarter series. Today, we're diving deep into the 2006 South Dakota State Quarter, minted at the Philadelphia Mint with the PE mint mark. This coin is part of the United States Mint's 50-state quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008, celebrating each state with unique designs on the reverse of the quarter. South Dakota's 2006 release is a striking piece for collectors and coin enthusiasts alike. The obverse of this quarter features the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which has graced U.S. quarters since 1932. The P mint mark below the motto, "In God We Trust," signifies that it was produced in Philadelphia. The obverse design remains consistent with other state quarters, emphasizing continuity and recognition across the series. Turning to the reverse, the South Dakota quarter is a visual tribute to the state's natural beauty and heritage. The design depicts Mount Rushmore, one of South Dakota's most iconic landmarks, with the likenesses of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln carved into the mountain. Beneath the monument, a soaring pheasant represents South Dakota's rich wildlife, and the inscriptions highlight the state name and its year of statehood, 1889. This reverse design was crafted by sculptor United States Mint artist John Mercanti, capturing both historical significance and the state's unique character. Collectors often seek the 2006 South Dakota P quarter for several reasons. First, its high-quality minting ensures excellent detail, especially in the relief of Mount Rushmore and the pheasant's feathers. Second, being a Philadelphia mint coin, it generally features a slightly brighter finish compared to some circulation issues from other mints. These quarters were struck in large quantities for general circulation, but those in uncirculated or proof condition carry higher collector value. When it comes to grading, coins in mint state, MS60 to MS65, are particularly desirable. Higher grades, like MS66 and MS67, can fetch premium prices among collectors due to their exceptional luster and lack of noticeable marks. Even circulated examples are popular for completing state quarter collections, making this coin both an accessible and collectible piece. In terms of market value, the 2006 South Dakota P quarter is generally modest in price if found in circulated condition, often around a few dollars. However, coins in pristine uncirculated or proof-like condition can attract collectors seeking to complete the 50-state quarter series, increasing their value. Rare errors, such as doubled dies or die cracks, can also significantly boost the coin's worth. Overall, the 2006 South Dakota quarter is a beautiful combination of history, artistry, and state pride. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or a beginner exploring the 50-state quarters program, this coin is a must-have for its detail, symbolism, and connection to one of America's most famous landmarks. If you're building a collection, make sure to examine the coin carefully for its condition, look for any unique minting variations, and store it properly to preserve its value. The 2006 South Dakota P quarter is more than just currency. It's a piece of history and a tribute to the natural and cultural heritage of the state.